All right, guys, we're winging it. We're just go live, man. If you're there, go ahead and hop on the chat box. I got the chat box on. Anyway, this is Johnny Allen, 30-minute podcast. It is, you guessed it, St. Patty's Day, St. Patrick's Day here in the US of A. And I just decided, I was just going to fire this stuff up real quick, and we're just going to go live. It is St. Patrick's Day. It's Thursday, March the 17th, 2020. Now, before I go any further, I got a little thing. Some of my followers corrected me last week when I said it was March, the March the 10th, 2020. It's not 2020. It's 2022. But I thought by me saying that, for now on, and I've done that mistake a couple times, I've said it's 2020. I think the reason why, because 2020 was such a rough year, right? The pandemic came in, and it was just a tough year for me, especially. So I think 2020 stuck in the brain. But I think what I want to do is for people that are paying attention to my podcast, if I do an introduction ever and I mess up the year or the date, just text me on the comments, hit me on the comments, say, Johnny, you said 2020 or whatever, and I may do it purposely sometimes. And you just hit me up on the comment, give me your email, and you know what? I'll send you out a prize. I'll send you out a gift card to a restaurant or something, or Starbucks. Send you a gift card to Starbucks. Go get your coffee. That's what I'm going to do. So if you catch the wrong date, hit me up on the comment. Give me your email. I'll email you privately. Shoot me an address, and I'll shoot you a gift card for catching it. Obviously, congratulations, right? All right, but it is 2022, and it is St. Patrick's Day. I have a lot on my mind, as I normally do, but you know what? I took a break today. The weather here is really, really nice. It feels like a spring day. I actually think tomorrow is officially the first day of spring. Not really sure, but we're getting close. And we've already had the daylight savings time thing switched back, which was kind of rough in years past, but this year wasn't really too bad. Okay, we see we got the chat going on. Hey, George in Vegas. Actually, I think I know who that is. Hey, welcome to the podcast, man. Thanks for chiming in. Yep, happy St. Patty's Day to you. But anyway, where was I going? I forget where I was going. Oh, nice day. So I decided, I was going to stay out a little longer. I did some catching up on the outdoor projects. All right, without further ado, let's toast St. Patrick's Day. And like I said, I got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, but we're going to skip it for a minute. We're going to forget about it for just a day. Today, St. Patrick's Day. And I'm almost I guess I would say quarter Irish. My kids are like half Irish. So there's the Baileys. I don't recommend drinking. If you do drink, drink responsible. And I have not had any of this yet. So if I act like I do, it's I don't know. I'm just acting like I have had something to drink. I haven't. But you know what? We're going to do this live on the air. I got my coffee. So here we go, gang. Oh, sorry about the microphone. Haven't even drank any yet. There's the Baileys going in. All right. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's celebrate. And I mean celebrate. I say that word calmly, or I say that word cautiously. I say that word reserving, so to speak. Let's celebrate, because there's a lot in the world not to celebrate. But I tell you what, the ones that are here and we're not struggling, we're blessed, and we send out prayers and blessings to the ones in the world that are having trouble. Let's toast to that. Let's toast to those poor folks in Ukraine, that they can get some freedom, get something positive going on. Let's just toast to peace. Let's get peace in the world, right? That's a big toast. All I want is peace in the world. And I've talked to some of my associates and friends of mine and stuff. They said, you know what? We talked a little bit about the Ukraine situation. And I told them, I said, and I did not agree with this. I said, you know what? I said that what's the shame of it is is that kids have to suffer. Anybody but the kids. The kids, you see the kids are suffering over there and dying over there. It's horrible. It's horrible. And his response to me was, well, it's just war. And I said, yeah, I know that's war, but we should not have wars, especially unprovoked wars, any war, but we shouldn't have it. And I said, the bottom line is you can justify that all you want if that's what he was doing. But I said, I'm going to stand firm by it. No child on the face of the earth should have to face anything like that. Starvation, cruelty, war, anything. And this is to blessing the children of the world, I mean, really. It's really, I'm not going to elaborate on it. You guys know how bad it is. I just pray and do what I can. Obviously don't want any more war. I'm in the USA, and they're afraid that if we do anything further, a no-fly zone, whatever, it's going to cause, a major conflict with Russia, and it may get more out of control. I don't know what the answers are. That's why I'm not a world politician. I'm not one of these world leaders. I'm just an average guy that drinks Baileys on St. Patrick's Day. God bless the Irish, too. God bless everybody. Those poor, like I said, my hearts are out to the people of Ukraine. It's terrible. And any other place in the world that we're not hearing about. We've had problems in Africa for years. Starvation. My wife did a mission trip to Africa a few years ago. It's bad. So let's just say some prayers and uplift these people that are having problems in the world. We have problems here in our own country, but on a lighter note, it is St. Patrick's Day. For what it's worth, we'll celebrate St. Patrick's Day today. I'm going to have my Baileys as my nightcap, really, because I'm going to go to bed. I'm an early riser, and early to bed and early to riser, and so I'll be going to bed early tonight. But you know what? Tomorrow is Friday, and thank goodness I don't have to work the weekends. Thank goodness we're still free, and thank goodness we're not getting bombed on. We did have a major fire at a Walmart distribution center yesterday. They didn't know what caused that because I'm really close to Indianapolis. I'm pretty close to Plainfield. Not super close, but anyway, I can see the fire from where I live. I'm probably maybe 30 miles from Plainfield and could see the fire. They don't know what caused it, but when I saw that plummet of smoke, I got to thinking immediately about the poor people in Ukraine, that they're getting that constantly in the whole country. I feel bad for the Russian people that don't want this war. I feel bad for them. They're getting struggled economically. It's amazing that just a handful of guys, like I said this for the past month since this thing started, can control the lives of many. Someone's coming on saying, "Amen, John, you're right." It's not right. Thanks again for hitting the chat. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. I'm not going to stay on for a long time today because I repeated my episode from Throwback Thursday, St. Patrick's Day episode from 2 years ago, from 2020. I just don't know really what to say about the Ukraine situation, the war, except it's just sad and it's bad and it's all for naught. It should have never happened. It should have never happened. People are happy and they're free and they're doing okay and they're not taking away from your land or whatever, then so be it. If they're not affecting you, so don't be it. I don't understand the invasion. I hear explanations for his invasion, but I still don't understand it. He was fearing that NATO was going to do this and NATO was going to do that. Now, I will say this. I do not commend whatsoever what's going on. But I will say one thing that's sort of related to what's going on is anytime you have a world power and world powers that control everything all throughout the world, whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, is kind of scary in a way because they can control everything, your money and everything, which is pretty scary in a way that a few people can control everything. It's just sad all the way around. That, like I said, a handful of people can control everything. If it's a war, your finances, whatever it is. And like I said, we had this fire yesterday. I kind of got away from that for a bit. but it was in a Walmart distribution warehouse. They don't know what caused it. I hope that it wasn't set purposely, because I mean it did a lot of damage and a lot of pollution in the air. And that's the thing about wars and everything. It's just I can go on about it. The pollution, it's just total destruction and chaos, and so get away from it for a minute and celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Right, that's all I'm doing. I wasn't even going to do the podcast tonight because it was so nice outside. But I just thought I'd have to, I just hate I like to chat on my Thursdays, and I just hate missing any. But like I said, I'm going to make it a quick one. I just hope that you guys are doing well, being safe. Pray for the people in Ukraine, obviously, other people around the world that are having problems. My heart goes out to them that are being bombarded by war, famines, drugs, bad addictions, whatever the problems may be, the evils, the terrible things that happen in this world. My prayers are with all these people, and that we can somehow correct the mess that we're in right now all over the world. Supposedly there's a new variant of the pandemic in China, but I'm not believing it. I'm calling BS on that, and I will talk about that later. I'm really not a political guy. This is not a political show, but gosh, this Ukraine thing's kind of turning me in that direction a little bit. But I just hope that everybody's safe, and if you celebrate St. Patrick's Day, do it safely. If you're going to drink responsible. Go get a cab, whatever. Go get, I'm at home, my home studio. I'm not going anywhere. So I got my little nightcap, and that's it. The only place I may go later on is to bed. You know what I mean? Sleep. That's it. But I hope you guys are having a good time. And like I said, we just got to take our mind off of it, rest for just a little bit on what's going on. I certainly don't have the answers. I'm just an average guy. I just hope for world peace. I just hope that, better hearts prevail and that, clear up the mess. I know where I was going to go with the scary part is the one world government thing. I mean, that is kind of in a way kind of scary. And I don't know if that's what Putin's afraid of. I really don't think so. I think he's using that as an excuse. Like I said, it's like these guys are power hungry. And the rumor is about with China going over, say we're gonna grab Taiwan because one time we owned them, so we're gonna own them again. The thing is, I was saying is that times change and things change. And the guy I was talking to earlier today that said, that's just war and that's just the way it is. And he goes, you know what? Everybody's talking about how bad the Ukraine is and how bad Putin is going over and invading and taking all these lives. He goes, we did the same thing to the American, Native Americans, the Indians here in North America. Well, I kind of hate that when they say we did the same thing, because we didn't do it. Maybe ancestors of my skin color did it way, way long time ago that I don't even know who they are, way before my time, right? And like I told him, I said, what's happening now is happening now. It shouldn't be. What happened then was bad. And I've said this many times before. It was not right. And he is right. Caucasians came over, took the Native Americans' land, was very wrong. But like I said many times before, you learn from history and you do not repeat it. You learn from history and try not to, or don't repeat it. So what's happening now with Ukraine? Thank you. He agrees. That's a chat box. What's happening in Ukraine is happening now. It's truly happening now. And I told the guy, and I respect him. I respect his opinions. I said, you're right. That was bad. What happened, 200 plus years ago, 300 years ago to Native Americans. Slavery is bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. But that was the past and that was history. And we tried to learn from that and move on. And we tried to do better and not do that, repeat those bad things. What's happening in Ukraine is bad things happening right now. So we should have learned. They should have learned by history over there. You don't want to do that. You don't want to invade. It's just not right. Okay, do what's right. The thing is, like, you learn from that. And the thing is, too, what's scary today, and I mentioned this many, many times on my podcast, because back then I said, there's more killings and more destruction going on now. And he said, well, we had guns back then and they just had bows and arrows. Well, yeah, true. But later on, the Indians did get guns. They did wipe out Custer's army. You know, the Indians had their way. The Indians, the tribes fought amongst themselves and pretty evilly. I mean, if you really want to dive into history of it all, the Indians fought amongst themselves. The Caucasians came over, and the Europeans rather, and Spaniards, and wiped out, you know, Mayans, Indians, and you know, the point I'm trying to make is this thing just keeps happening over and over again throughout history. And it's called evil, and it's called taking over, and it's called injustice, and it's called all these things. That's bottom line is evil. Okay. And we keep repeating it, and we don't learn from it. But the thing is about today, and I'll put a period on it, is we have this such thing called nuclear weapons, and big nuclear weapons. I know I've talked about this many times before. We have enough nuclear power around the world to destroy the world about 10 to 20 times over. So if someone just presses a button and adios amigos to not only humans, but life as we know it on this fragile planet called Earth. Think about that one. You get a couple crazies, go hit the button, hit a button, or pull a switch, or however they do it. I don't know how they do it. Put codes in. Sayonara. It's over. It's not Nagasaki and Hiroshima. It's like 40 times worse. Can you imagine that? And I'm not going to drink to that, but I'm going to drink to the truth. That's the truth. So what happened 200 years ago, 150 years ago, during the Civil War, the American Civil War? What happened 1,000 years ago during the, you know, the reign of Caesar and all these people? Is pales in comparison to what could happen today with nuclear weapons. That's all I got to say. And you can't argue that. Thanks again, Chad. Chad in Oklahoma. Thank you for showing up. He says, you're right on. Thank you. I mean, I'm just looking at things with common sense. Common sense. So, I mean, the bottom line is, and I said this many, many times before, I can't say it enough. We do not learn from history. I talked to a young African-American fella today. Nice guy. He knows who he is. We're good friends. You know, the age difference is probably 30 years. And he's like, John, you're right. I'm starting to really figure out history now. They're getting the real history because in school, they don't teach it. They only teach certain agendas. And it's worse now, unfortunately. I said, yeah, dig in. Be careful, but dig in and get true history. And you're going to learn from it. And we got to learn from it. You know, history is not one of these things that you could be proud of. A lot of it you can't be proud of. You know, like I said, Europeans, I'm not proud of the fact that Europeans came over and devastated the American Indians. I have a soft spot for Native American Indians. I build Cherokee bows, all that. I have a little bit of Indian blood in me, really. I truly do from my mom's side. They did the DNA testing. I actually got a picture of my great aunt who was Blackfoot Indian. So I have, I have a little bit of an attachment, well, quite a bit of attachment and sympathy to, you know, Native Americans and really everybody that's had a bad deal in life. Anybody really, you know, I mean, I don't judge people by the color of their skin, the religion, or anything like that. The only one thing I'd stress is one word: peace. Peace. Maybe harmony with it, but peace. That's all I stress is peace. How come we can't get it? Is it ever going to happen? Now, you know, the Baileys may be kicking in now. Happy St. Patrick's Day, by the way. I'm live. I'm Johnny Allen on the 30-minute podcast. I wasn't even going to do it today because the weather's so nice. I was outside. But you know, I gotta stay faithful to my small following, but it's still a following, and I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do hit the like and all that stuff. Speaking of subscriptions, you know, people will subscribe and then they don't subscribe, and you know, I get it, but people, you know, and this goes along with everything. I'll probably sum up the, you know, podcast on this subject. Really, people have a tendency to judge and point the finger at you, and you're guilty before proven innocent. You're guilty before proven innocent, and it's not right to judge people and to do these things without knowing the facts. And I've had some friends that have been unfairly judged, and you know, people that are associated with him, that I can't have anything to do with that guy because he knows this guy, and this guy supposedly did something or whatever, you know, and it's not, if it's come to find out it's not true. That's why I say you got to get your facts straight. Don't accuse people for doing something. They don't automatically assume things. Drink to that one with the Bailey. You know, I read too that there's been a lot of robberies going on lately, more so now, probably because we had a man-made or man-manipulated, pandemic, which now they pretty much proven it has been manipulated. That was a debatable topic back in 2020 when the darn thing came out. But they're finding out now it was, and I knew it was because it keeps changing and it's not the same as the rest of them. And everybody said that. Okay. Anyway, we had that big wide world shutdown, which really messed up the economy all over the place. Okay, so we had that. We're just not getting over that. And then Putin starts his war. And guess what? Times 2. Now, if China or somebody else does something else, it's going to be times 3. So how many times can man, again, screw himself up? I'm just asking that question. Anybody got answers? Comment. How many times can man screw himself up? And judging people without knowing the facts, condemning people without knowing the facts, quick to destroy somebody without knowing the facts. I just, I find it amazing. Like I said, it's everyday life situations and comments. And we're drinking Bailey's today. Just a little bit. Don't recommend drinking. If you're under 21, do not. St. Patty's Day, if you're going out to celebrate, get an Uber, get a cab, get a friend to drive the sober. That's my safety message for everybody. I'm at home and I'm safe. As far as driving goes, I'm not going anywhere. But we are enjoying a little bit of St. Patrick's Spirits and Bailey's. It is the original Irish cream. Now, I don't know if it is the original Irish cream. I'll have to research that a little bit, but they said it's the original Irish cream. I just know it's mighty fine. I usually drink it when it's colder outside and I got a fire going in the house or whatever, but it's St. Patrick's Day. I got to stay away from Jameson. I love that whiskey, but boy, whoa, tears Johnny Allen up. I can't even, walk straight if even take a little shot of Jameson, because I don't really drink that much because I'm getting older and the body says you can't, but Jameson I can't. Great whiskey though. Great whiskey, but boy, woo, it's Irish. Everything the Irish does is with zest and power and compassion and a lot of, whoa, yeah, that's the Irish. I get teased all the time. Kind of funny. Same guy we had a conversation with today about, well, that's just war, John. Kids getting killed. Well, it's just war. And I said, well, I don't care what it is. It's bad. I don't like seeing any. Well, anyway, kind of funny. Same guy. Always teases me about being a leprechaun, I like the guy. He's a great guy. We've known him for years, but today I can honestly say, yeah, kind of leprechaunish because it's St. Patrick's Day. Speaking of Patrick's, and Patrick knows who he is, and if Patrick is watching today, happy St. Patrick's Day, Patrick, and I am sorry about Jack. That's all I got to say. If Patrick's watching, he knows I am very sorry about Jack. Jack was a great dog, and I'll miss Jack a lot. I've had to put some dogs down in my lifetime, and it's not an easy thing to do. So if you're watching Patrick, or if you watch this later, hang in there, buddy. So gonna miss Jack. Jack Bauer. Great dog. Loved that dog when I got to visit him. He was a great dog. I don't want to talk too much about it because I might get tearful. And I don't know if you guys want to see that. All right, chat again. Yeah, I had to put a dog down, and it's tough. Yeah, I've had to put a couple dogs down in my lifetime. I'm almost done here, guys, today with the live chat. It's 30 minutes almost. Comment anything I got to say. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I'm going to have a guest coming up real soon. Been talking about for a couple weeks. My good buddy Steve. He wrote a book called, and I'm gonna plug it again. It's called Discipling. Steve's a good friend of mine. Known him for quite a few years. Rather, he was in the Hopeful Band. Great guitar player, great drummer. Just he's a man of faith. He's a pastor now. I admire Steve. His story himself, and someday maybe he'll tell it, but his own personal story is pretty good. He's triumphed through a lot of issues in his life, and has triumphed through those. So kudos to Steve. But we'll get Steve on. I think we're going to do a Zoom soon, probably next week. But so if you're watching, Steve, yeah, we'll do it. I think you guys will like Steve. Steve is a real interesting guy, and like I said, smart guy, passionate with his faith, and passionate about music, and just an overall good dude, as they say. I also would like to I know you guys can't see this, but I got a card from Belen Webb. Belen, if you're watching, Belen, she her husband Rob, which was another good friend of mine, and was in the Hopeful Band. He was the lead singer. Passed away about a year ago now, almost. Getting close. She wrote me some nice. She wrote a nice card thanking me for starting the Hopeful Band and all that, and it was good. You know, I've done a few things in my life. I'm going to end with this. I've done a few things in my life that I'm really proud of. I've done a few things in my life I'm not so proud of, but you know, to mention more things that are good than bad. And putting together the Hopeful Band several years ago was a blessing that I was able to get some guys from the church that really didn't play out a whole lot at all. Rob was never in a band, and he got to experience being in a rock and roll band. And that last gig that we did was phenomenal. It really was a good gig. The band was tight, sounded good. If I would have known, you know, that was going to be Rob's last one, you know, would have tried to make it even more special. But at least he went out with a bang. Really, he went out on top when it came to music, for sure. When it came to that band, for sure, he went out on top. The band went out on top. Whether we do anything again with Hopeful Band, I don't know. Just switching gears, but I'm also in Crossroads Saints, and we are doing something. July 22nd and July 23rd, we are playing the Cat Theater in Carmel, Indiana. So if you get a chance, I'll update you guys on that. Come out and see us if you're in the area. Our rehearsals have already started. We'll resume our rehearsal. On Saturday, we'll do a rehearsal. We're going to play everything off the new record pretty much, and pull back some old ones from the old catalog, a couple, and a couple tasty cover tunes. But it's going to be a nice show. It's going to be a really good show. If you guys are a fan of the Allman Brothers and everything, you would love the Crossroads Saints. And I'm not just saying that because I'm in the band. I'm saying that because it's true. I mean, you know, Daryl's a Hammond B3 player. He's great. We got one great guitar player on board with us for one date for sure. We need to get somebody for the next day, but we got a great guitar player who's going to sit in with us on one of the shows, which promises to be fun. Anyway, I'm out of here, guys. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's forget about if you're in a non-war torn country. It's hard to say. Celebrate that. Pray for the ones that are in a war torn country. You know, I just hate to see kids. I hate to see anybody, but it really just, I don't know how anybody, I just don't think that way, how anybody in their right mind can have a good conscience and have a conscience at all, knowing that they just destroyed a bunch of innocent women and children, let alone the men, like I talked about. I just don't know how anybody in their right, how anybody can even live with that. Don't know. Glad I'm not that way. Anyway, thanks for stopping in, guys. God bless y'all. And like I say every week, the good Lord willing, I'll see you next week on the Johnny Allen. I'm going to go in the stream. Comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Be safe.